the whole thing that yeah, it was definitely what I expected, not what I expected, but I would love to go through it again because I think with the same people we went through, mind you, Allison, because I think going through it again with a whole separate group of people would just again like bring me right back to ground zero. But it was exciting and I'm excited to be here. So thank you. Very brief intro about myself, and I'm gonna stand up and hope that that this adjusts because it says that it will. Let me know if you guys can still see me in there. Okay, cool. Um, my name is Samantha Ianelli. This is my 5th year in real estate. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about why I tell you that. But my 5th year in real estate, I am the co-team leader of the Eric T. Needs team in Pennsylvania. So we're also equally as cold as wherever you are right now in Colorado. I'm a 3-time icon agent, and my average production as a single agent is right around $20 million. And I share that with you guys only for context. And that's personal volume. I share that with you guys only as a little bit of context and credibility to what I'm going to talk to you about today. And you'll kind of understand where I'm going with that. But I share it because let me ask you guys a question. Would you, if I was standing up here and trying to sell you a gym membership, and I am the most like out of shape person, and I'm like, I'm going to get you into the best shape of your life, and I'm like completely overweight and I can't breathe, are you guys going to want to buy that gym membership for me? Probably not, right? So the context behind like what I do in my business is so that you guys know this is what I do. I live and breathe this every day. I'm not up here telling you, here's a system, you're going to, make millions of dollars. And, I sit behind a desk all day and don't do anything. So let me ask you guys a question in the room. Who in here has ever lost a deal? Like a deal has been terminated? Okay. Who here's
Me and
ever?
Catherine are like raising our hands.
Yeah, I'm like, it's like every day, right? Who here's ever been told no, been hung up on, been cursed at on the phone? Yeah, or just like flat out felt like you were completely alone in this business and you had no idea where your next paycheck or transaction was going to come from. Anyone? Yeah, me too. So congratulations. And thank you. What you guys just helped me to understand is that everybody in the room is two things: human, thank goodness, and not perfect, right? Thank God, because when I'm in a room of perfect people, I have a lot harder time speaking. So I'm very happy to know that I'm in a room full of people that know that things do not always go the way that you plan. So that also taught me two really important characteristics about everybody in the room. And what do you guys think that is? So you've been told no, you've been rejected, you felt like you were alone, but you're still here. What do you think those two things are that I think everybody in this room has come here with today, and they already have? Two
Guys,
core traits.
yeah, let's unmute. Let's talk. Let's get active. I've got a vacuum cleaner in the background, so I cannot unmute. So if take one for the team. Val, somebody step in. Help us out.
I don't know,
Oh, I can
drive,
pull up the chat too. Oh, I see.
commitment.
Yeah, definitely. I see persistence in here, resilience.
Resilience, drive.
Yeah, drive. I like all of that. So 100%. So resilience is one of them, and fortitude is the other. And who here in the room knows resilience? I think we all know, right? We get back up, we get kicked down. We're in a rejection-based business, if you will. So resilience is, I think that's just required, but fortitude is the other one. And who knows what fortitude means? Give me some answers in the chat or just scream it out. What's fortitude?
That's what I look at. Pat said strength. Mary said long-term strength equals fortitude, endurance with strength.
Yeah.
Endurance.
Yeah, I like that. I like endurance with strength. And
That's Mary's. I'm not taking credit for that. I'm just reading the chat.
I'm gonna steal that. And I like that because to me, what fortitude means is that no matter what, you're going to get up and you're going to keep going, no matter what the circumstances is, right? Resilience is you get kicked on your ass. I hopefully that doesn't get bleeped out. I'm not gonna say any swear words, I promise, during this. Oh, I meant to ask you guys about that, like language, because sometimes
whatever you need to say, just let your freak flag fly.
Awesome. But yeah, resilience is getting back up after you're kicked out. Fortitude is just keeping the fuck going, right? So no matter what, you're going to get there, you're going to figure it out, and you're going to do it. Allison was in the room when I shared a quote or a phrase that I have on my phone, and there's some team members of mine in here too. But a saying that I live by is fuck your mood, follow the plan, right? Because it doesn't matter what the heck is going on. You guys just got to be able to figure it out and get going. So yeah, I believe that the two most important things are the characteristic traits that you guys all have because you are in this room. It is fortitude and it is resilience. We are in a rejection based business, which means every single day, if we are living, breathing our business, we are dealing with rejection every single day, right? Um, so I believe that those two things are absolutely the most important core characteristics of anybody that is in the real estate realm. And is it just realtors in here today, Allison, or are there lenders? Are there other people?
I'm looking through. I see mostly real estate agents. I'm looking to see if I've got any lenders in here. I think it's just real estate agents today.
Okay, so I'll keep this like straight real estate today, but I think this like applies to a lot of things and even life, right? But let me tell you guys a story because I remember when I was about, I'm going to say like 9 years old, and I blur this between like 8, 9, like 10 years old, but it's third grade, whatever grade like third grade is. I don't remember. But I remember being 9 years old and picture me, right? 9-year-old Sam, like sitting in the back of a car, driving to school. My mom's driving me to school. And I'm excited because there's like a school play audition happening that day. And I was going to audition for the role of Broccoli in Veggie Tales, right? So picture me, I was going to be dancing broccoli. That's what I was excited to audition for that day. And I say this to my mom in the front of the car, and I'm like, hey, all I need is like a ride home from school today. I'm going to audition. I want to be in the play. Can you pick me up? And I remember her turning around and looking at me because we're sitting in the school parking lot and just being like, no, that's dumb. Why would you do that? You don't need to do that. Your brothers don't, do this kind of stuff. They just go to school, come home. You don't need to do like any of that stuff. And I was like, thinking back, obviously as a kid, like kid words, I'm disappointed. I'm probably irritated. I'm probably upset. Like 9-year-old version of me doesn't, isn't thinking through like all the systems of why I'm upset. But I got out of the car. And the first person I saw was my best friend. And she's like, hey, are we trying out together? Because I was going to be broccoli. She was going to be a carrot, whatever. It was like match made in heaven. And I'm like, no, my mom, said no, and she won't drive me home and I can't stay after school. And she's like, oh, she's like, well, my mom will do it. I was like, awesome. I'm like, thank you. I was, going to ask, and, I didn't want to put anybody else out or whatever. So I'll make this short. I got the part of broccoli. If you guys, had you on the edge of your seat, I'm sure I can like whip up a picture, and I wish I had it for here. Got the role, was cast. I got to be in the play and all of that, which was fantastic. So fast forward to me going home that night. This is before cell phones, mind you. I couldn't text my mom that I was staying after school and my best friend was bringing me home. So I get home and I open up the door, and do you think my mom had a smile on her face when I walked in the door? No, she was livid. And I mean, a tiny aside, I didn't grow up in the most supportive house, and that's a different story, right? But it wasn't like rainbows, butterflies, hugs, and hope you had a great day. It was different. But I walked in the door and she was so angry and I was so excited. She's like, where were you? I'm like, I was after school. I was, trying out for broccoli. And, Laura's mom just dropped me off and she's in the car and she's like, I don't care, close the door or whatever. She's like, I told you you couldn't do that. And I said, no, you said you wouldn't pick me up. So I just figured it out. Right. I figured it out. I got the role. And you guys can see I didn't go on to a very long-standing career in like acting or anything like that. But what I didn't realize at that moment that was teaching me was what?
The asset follow your plan is coming to mind.
Well, you had to figure it out.
Yeah, just figure it out, right? And that to me was fortitude. So that in that instance, like 9 years old, 10 years old, that is the the oldest, like the earliest back, like core memory that I can believe, where I was told, you're not going to do something, you can't do it. And I was like, I'm going to freaking figure it out anyway. So that's what I did. And that's what that taught me. And it taught me fortitude. And it taught me that at a very young age, and I didn't know it then, but looking back when you process as an adult, I'm like, that was the beginning. And I see that played out in a lot of my life. No matter what it was that I was going to do, fortitude and resilience were a part of it. I did not ever believe in hearing no. And I still don't believe in hearing no. If there is something that I want to accomplish, I'm going to find a way. That's fortitude. I'm going to figure it out. And no matter how many times I get kicked down and get no, I'm going to figure out a way to do it. So that is what created a passion for me, I think, and not being broccoli, right? I went on to be broccoli and it was great. I had a great time. I'm sure I got over it. My mom wasn't mad at me anymore, but that just scenario and getting through systems like that and problems like that created a passion for me to never want anyone else to feel like they were alone, whether it's in business, whether it's personal, families, friends, relationships, whatnot. It created a passion for me to want to share everything that I do and everything that I've figured out, so people don't have to figure it out all on their own. Like, would you guys agree that this business, if you don't lean on others, is going to eat you alive, right? There are systems that work. And if you don't have people like this amazing group, and I'm so thankful for Allison for pulling this together, like there's a lot of failure in our business. So this taught me those two things. It created a passion for me wanting to share my stories and what I do with everybody else, so everyone else can learn and, learn and grow from each other. And it created an internal, I will never not get where I want to go, resilience and fortitude that I carry through in my business. So what I want you guys to take away from all this today, as we get into like the meat and potatoes of this conversation, which is no more about my childhood acting career, which died with broccoli on the stage, by the way, is I want you to take away from this today a mindset and an internal belief about yourselves. You're already here. You're already showing resilience. You're already showing fortitude every day in your business. I want you to take away just some other internal dialogues and mindsets that we're going to talk about, and some tangible ways that you can make your business stronger. So everybody on the same page? Awesome. So let's take a brief sip of water here. What I'm not here to do is motivate you guys, right? And why is that? When I say I'm not here to motivate you guys, obviously I love talking to you, but what is motivation? You guys can put it in the chat. You can yell it out. Why do I say I'm not here to motivate you guys today? Motivation is what? It's yes, yeah, definitely up to us. So motivation is definitely up to you. I agree. But it's up to you. And motivation is an emotion, I'll say. Motivation is, I'm motivated after this to go out and do whatever she said, we're supposed to do today. And then I get home and what happens? There's laundry to be done. Maybe, there's dishes in the sink that I have to complete or whatever, or there's just distractions, right? And quickly motivation is gone. Motivation is a feeling. So what I like to talk to you guys about today is momentum. And I have a core belief that momentum is what creates, or movement is what creates momentum. So write that down, because we're going to say that a couple of times. And it's something that I really believe is a core to what's helped to make me successful. Movement creates momentum. And what I mean by that is this. Think about it. If you're in a car and you're at a stoplight and you're just sitting there, if you turn the wheel left and right, is the car going to go anywhere? Or are you basically just like, the kid in the backseat that's pretending to drive the car, right? It's like left, right, not going anywhere. Once you put that foot on the gas, then you can steer the car, right? You can go left off the exit ramp. You can go right to Wawa. You can keep going straight. You can turn. You can stop at Target, Starbucks, whatever it is. But once you are in motion, you build momentum. You can't build momentum by just sitting still. Does that make sense to you guys? Give me a yes or a thumbs up. Okay. So movement creates momentum. It's not the other way around. I find a lot of people in this business, and you guys can say yes or no to this, but I feel a lot of the time that people are waiting for things to happen. They're waiting for that next great lead to come in through, you know, whatever lead system they're coming in through, or they're waiting to feel motivated to hop on the phone and do their follow-up, when it's the other way around. You have to pick up the phone. And what happens when you get that first yes? You guys are probably pretty excited, right? Anybody in this room like prospect, make phone calls like during the day, do follow up? I hope so. We are in the business of needing to follow up with people. So what happens when you get that first yes on the phone and the person doesn't hang up? You guys probably feel pretty excited, right? And you're like, I'm ready to call again, right? I'm ready to call the next person again. That movement creates momentum. The other really important piece of this framework that we're going to talk about after just the concept is discipline. Somebody tell me what discipline means. I always like asking this because I think discipline means something different to everybody. Somebody tell me what, and I love it, the catalyst of inspiration. I love that as a response for motivation. But in the chat, somebody tell me what discipline is, or call it out. Yeah, getting it done no matter what. Consistence. Yeah. What else? I like those. Focus. Yeah. So discipline is all those things, 100%. And do I have any runners in the room? Anybody that runs? Thumbs up. Power. Yeah. I mean, I think discipline creates power all day long. Plan it, do it consistently. Yeah, absolutely. Plan it, do it consistently.
Consistent action.
Yeah, definitely. So I love consistent action. I'll get back to my runner analogy. Yes. Discipline removes what if you're doing it correctly? Discipline removes what? I haven't drank any coffee yet either. So discipline removes resistance, feeling, yeah, removes emotion, all of that. Yes, yes, yes. Discipline removes decision. So that's something I want you guys to remember and write that down, because this all goes together. Discipline removes decision. If you have true discipline, you have decided once that what you're doing means something and you're going to keep doing it. True discipline removes decision. I put the time block on my calendar, 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock every day. I'm going to make my follow-up calls, 25 appointments, or 25 phone calls so I can book my 2 appointments every day. I don't think about it. Do you guys think I want to do that every day? Do I want to get on the phone and get like beaten up every day? Do you think I want to do it? I mean, there's a sick part of me that does, because I actually I seek rejection, but do you think I always feel like it? I'm not a robot, right? I have crazy days. I don't want to just get beaten up on the phone, but discipline removes decision so that you do the movement that then creates momentum. You guys understand? Does that make sense so far, the framework? Discipline says you've already decided. I'm not going to decide again. True discipline means there's never another decision in that process. And that's what I want you guys to carry with you today and take away as a very strong framework. And I would encourage you to write that wherever you work, wherever you sit down to do your focus work for the day, not your, not your Canva designs, not your your hashtags for your video, but your true deep work. Wherever you decide you're going to do that every day, write down. Discipline removes motivation. Movement creates momentum. These two things go together, because without the discipline to not decide whether or not you're ever going to do something again, you are going to take that consistent action to do movement, which is going to create the momentum. Make sense so far? Yeah, some thumbs up, some hearts. Yeah, awesome. I would love a cup of coffee, but I can't seem to make that happen in these comments. So awesome. Excuses, fear. Yeah, removes emotion. You guys are 100% spot on. So I think you're following me. And is this anything new to you guys yet? This isn't really like anything new or life-changing yet, right? I promise I'm going to give you something tangible. I came in here today saying I don't want to motivate you. I also don't have a magic system. So the magic that I have and the way that I've gotten the results that I have gotten is through those disciplined actions, the movement creating momentum. I simply don't decide anymore. I don't wait for the yes or no. I just do what I'm going to do. So let me ask you guys another question. Now that you know my superpower system, right? I'm disciplined. I don't decide. It's the best thing ever, right? I don't wake up in the morning anymore and decide what I'm going to do. I have a morning routine. Do you guys all have morning routines? I find like the most successful people on the entire planet, we talk about like morning routines like all the time when we hear morning routines. Do you guys have morning routines? Yeah, thumbs up, hearts. You guys tell me what you do like in the morning, first couple of moments of the day. Awesome. If you're doing those morning routines in your disciplined approach, you guys already know what I'm talking about. You've removed the decision. You don't wake up every day deciding, I'm going to brush my teeth. I'm going to drink my cup of coffee. I'm going to, they're automatic for you. That's the whole point behind discipline, and what I'm trying to drive home to you guys is there shouldn't be any more decision. You wake up and you already know exactly what it is you need to do because you've already decided. You've already committed to your goal. You've already assigned the discipline. So now that you guys know my superpower, you guys all have the core traits that you need to be successful. You know what the framework mindset system that you need to be successful. What do you guys think is the biggest difference between the agents in this group, community, EXP, every brokerage in America as realtors? What do you think is the biggest difference between the people that are making it and the people that are not? People that produce and the people that don't. What do you think is the biggest difference? You guys put it in the chat, talk.
Some of the words we've talked about, like discipline.
Yeah, definitely. Action. I saw action in there. Yes. Consistency, discipline, and thank you. Yeah, 100%. I like the word action because, like I said in the beginning, it's one thing to come here and sit today and listen, and I hope you get something from this. What I want you to get from this is just that mindset to make yourself mentally tough. I want you guys to know about yourself, that you already have what it takes to be successful. But action is the next piece. And that's the part where I feel like all of us, me included, because again, I'm not a robot, not perfect. That's the part where we need to get laser focused about what we are taking action on. So yes, the action, discipline and systems, 100%, collaboration, consistency. Yes, 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 and yes. And systems, like one of my favorite words, and we'll talk about it in another session maybe, but everything that you guys do should have a system. Everything should have a process. If it's not repeatable and you can't scale it. So, but yes, action. So the difference between agents that produce and the agents that don't is the action that they take. And go with me down this hill for like a second. I think there are only two groups of activities that we participate in every day. Two buckets of activity every day. Revenue producing in the left hand and non-revenue producing. I could call them anything else, but if you are not doing revenue producing, if you're doing revenue producing activities, amazing. If you're not, you're doing non-revenue producing activities. Make sense? Okay, so now I want to hear from you guys. What are those revenue producing activities? What are those revenue producing activities that you do with discipline or you need to start doing with discipline? What are they?
Prospecting.
Yeah, definitely. What else? Lead gen and follow-up. Yes. Calls, notes. Yep.
Writing offers.
Writing offers. Yeah, we can't get anything accepted if we're not writing an offer. Heck yeah. What else? These are good. These are the fundamentals.
Face-to-face conversations.
Yes. Face-to-face. And how do we get those face-to-face conversations? How do we even like make those appointments to have those face-to-face conversations?
Coffee.
Yeah. Coffee is wonderful. I'm so excited for coffee later. I'm such a coffee junkie, but yeah, face-to-face conversations, calls, notes. You guys hit it on the head. It's certainly not. Okay. So you guys know what those revenue producing activities are. And there's more, right? Like booking appointments, asking for referrals, you said prospecting in the beginning, showing the properties. We can't write an offer. I mean, sometimes you can write an offer without showing the property, but you guys know what these are. What are the
Everything else,
what is it?
everything else.
Literally everything else. I absolutely love that. Literally everything else. That's probably the best answer. We can just like go home. So yes, everything else. Everything that's not what you just said. But give me some ideas of what is that everything else that we do give our attention to instead of doing what we have to do. And I'd love, if you guys don't want to say it out loud, you can put it in the chat. I know I said a couple of them while we've been talking already, but what are those?
Since
So-
Allison isn't here, I'll tell you what she says that that putting clients in your car and showing property is not a money making activity. Does everyone else on our team agree that she says that?
Yeah. Oh, putting clients in your car. Okay. Tell me more about that. Putting
Well, I
clients in
mean,
your car.
or just, I mean, and opening a door, things like that. She doesn't feel like
Yes.
that's
Mhm.
really not a money making activity. Yes, I mean, like you
that.
said, some people definitely want to see homes, but she's a big leverage person, so you could leverage that out so you have more time to prospect.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's,
she'll say that
yep.
her time is better spent helping you negotiate offers or anything else really other than doing that. So yeah, Kat, you're 100% right. That is a very big Allison thing.
I'm just speaking for her since she had to
Yeah.
leave.
I love that. And thank you for bringing that because it definitely that lands on me so perfectly because I agree with it. There was, I heard somebody speak at EXPCon. I think it was Russ Langdon. So I'm stealing this from him if anybody knows him and wants to tell him that out loud, but he wrote a book and he talks about that specifically. I'm going off on a tangent and then I'll come right back. I promise. Somebody keep me on time if I'm running over here, but he describes exactly what you just said as the things that don't make money. So ideally, right, let's say that you guys want to make like $1 million a year, right? Or let's say that your target is whatever, $500,000 a year, $500,000 a year, whatever, your $100,000 a year. And you are spending your time doing admin work, like putting your, your deals wherever they have to go. If you guys are using SkySlope or something else, we're all in EXP, we're using SkySlope. But anything like administrative related, anything that somebody else you could pay like $20 an hour to do, right? Because when you add up all of those $20 hours that you're spending doing $20 a task hours on, you're basically saying that you're worth about $45,000 a year. And I believe that every single person in this room is worth way more than $45,000 a year. So I agree with that statement 100% that driving, you're right, opening a door is not the money maker. So yeah, I love it. Which I encourage you guys all to think really strategically at the point where you can start like giving things away and think about where you're adding the most value and how you can pull in those clients that are going to help you achieve those 100,000, 200,000, $1 million goals. That's what you want to be paying attention to when you're doing those income producing activities. So I love that. And if Allison's not on here, I will definitely share that you guys brought her team voice to life there. So that's awesome. She'll be happy. Okay, so the non-income producing ones then, right? Scrolling like the doom scroll on social media. Y'all do it. I do it too, but I protect my time and don't do it at the time that I shouldn't be doing it at now. Researching instead of calling, right? Telling yourself that you're going to research a little bit more before you hop on the phone and face rejection for the day. Reorganizing your CRM again, cleaning your office midday, just doing your laundry. It's unfortunate and fortunate that we have the opportunity to work from home as much as we do because home has become work, work has become home, and it's all blended together, right? So COVID made that normal for us, but it's really challenging. Your environment says a lot about you. So the more that you can get yourself out of an environment where you're not, home isn't work and work isn't home, that will mistake proof some of this. So I think we beat it to death. So two major things that you can do all day long fall into two buckets, right? You're either doing those income producing activities or those non-income producing activities. And I think we all agree that the people that are staying in the bucket of the income producing activities longer are the ones that are going to do the best in this business. So make sense so far? You guys following me? All right, that's when I bond with my clients. Yeah, I get it. I'm sorry, I'm just reading notes in here. Perfect. By the way, I love how active you guys are here in the notes. And I'm learning how challenging it is sometimes to read them all, but I will read them all later. So I appreciate your engagement so far. All right. So time check. How much time do I have left here? I have like 15 minutes, right?
Yeah, I think it ends at 9:15. Is that right?
Okay, cool. I'm going to try my best not to take up those last 15 minutes just so I can ask, you guys can ask any questions that you want to ask. And I'm glad that you're all still here. This makes me so happy. But the last thing I want to talk about is something tangible and something that I want you guys to be able to take away with you. And this is something that I do teach to our team. I call it the 10K hour. And usually this is about an hour to an hour and a half segment. And I do bingo after because it all ties it together. So after hearing this, if you guys want the whole system and like the coaching format that I have for this, which is about probably like 60 to 90 minutes, I'll share it with you all. Just let me know, put it in the chat, write bingo. And I'll send it all over to you guys, or make sure Allison gets it so that you guys can have this. Because if you're running teams, awesome. Bingo. There's a really funny skit on YouTube. I'm going to share it with that as well when I share it. But this is a really cool thing to get not only yourselves engaged, but how many team leaders do I have on here? Do I have team leaders in here in addition to agents that are operating on their own? Awesome. Okay. Very cool. Awesome. Getting a lot of bingos in there. She had some prizes to give away, but the prize is going to be the system, and I'll give it to you guys afterwards. Thank you so much. But the benefit of this for you is phenomenal. The benefit, if you have a team that you can coach this to, amazing. So the more you can do this, more everybody can just learn through this process. So let me ask you guys a question. Who here thinks that they are in sales? Give me a thumbs up, a heart, a thumbs down, whatever. Who here thinks that they're in sales? I always love asking this question. Some heart. Who here doesn't think that they're in sales? Yes. And consulting. Yep. And therapy. Yeah, I agree with that. I think we're therapists. I think we're a lot like the hairdressers, bartenders. We're definitely consultants. Serve, not sell. I love that. Yeah. Me. Yeah. Okay. So what are we in the business of selling? If you think that we're in sales, and just go with me down this track for a second, what are we selling? What are we out there selling every single day? We're in the relationship business. What's that?
Ourselves.
Yes, definitely. 100%. From the first interaction all the way to the end, we are absolutely selling ourselves. I mean, if we don't sell ourselves, no one's going to want to work with us. Definitely. And if we are being honest with ourselves, what else are we selling? What are we all a part of selling? And for some reason, this is taboo and we're not allowed to say this. And I don't get it, because somewhere along the way, we've all been told we're not in sales. But what are we selling to people?
The dream.
Yeah, the dream. Absolutely. But there's a tangible asset at the end of this, right? What are people getting at the end of our transactions?
Real estate, property.
Yeah. Yes, they're getting a home. Okay. And when they get that home, what are you getting at the end of that? Like, what are you making at the end of that transaction?
Not very much if it's Zillow.
Yeah. Amen to that. Yes. But it's still, it's a client who's going to give us more clients. So, and there's quite a few members of my team on here. And yes, that's true. But it does help you build your business if you know how to get referrals and you build relationships. So yes, but we're getting a commission. So let me ask you guys a question. If we're not in sales, we're not going to get a commission. So I'm saying this because I feel like I've been in so many rooms where people are like, realtors are not salespeople. We're not in sales. We're not in sales, but we do a job. We get paid commission. Does anybody in here in the room get paid for making a phone call? Nope. Does anybody get paid for making an appointment? Anybody get paid for showing a house? I mean, if you're a showing agent, yes, but you guys get my point, right? We're in the business of selling ourselves first, but at the end of hopefully a successful transaction where it didn't fall apart, they do happen. We are handing over keys, or handing over one party's getting keys. We are doing some kind of sales function here, and we are making a commission. That is sales all day long. And I honestly think that we do a disservice in this business when we are not coaching our agents on sales. And it's something that I feel like we have to get through in a Sigma. I've been talking to a lot of leaders about this because I do hear it a lot that we are not in sales. And then when I talk about it that way, they're like, oh yeah, I guess we're in sales. And just a tiny aside, I didn't share a whole lot of my background. I did do sales for a very small period of time for a tobacco company, like right out of college. So sales was just like kind of innate to me. And this, when I got into this, just kind of like made sense, but that's another story for another day. So traveling down that conversation of, are we in sales? Here's what I call the 10K power hour and what I will send you guys the bingo system based on. So hopefully you guys can see this and let me know when you can. I've been playing with my screen all day here, but can you guys see? Let me see if I can make this bigger. Can you guys see my screen? Or can you guys see, it says the 10K hour right here?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So who here knows what the sales funnel is? Show of hands, thumbs up, hearts, anything. Sales funnel. I see one. I see, oh, ooh, that was a good one. That was like 100 hearts all at once. So nice job. Okay, I see some, which is not bad. I can tell you that I've done this before and I've gotten like blank stares. And I can tell you that I saw Renee Rodriguez do this at EXPCon and it blew my mind, which is what got me. And if you guys don't know who that is, check him out also. His system has done a lot, just could kind of change like the framework of how I think and do business also. But the sales funnel, I saw him do this and I was in sales, so I had seen it before, but when he broke it down, it really helped me. Can you guys see that? Oh God, it's gonna drive me crazy. It made a lot of sense for real estate and we don't talk about this a lot. So roll with me for a second here. And I'm gonna make a small funnel because I don't think you guys can see my whole screen. Can you see all of that? Did you guys see the upside down triangle? Woohoo! All right, so right here on the top is 25. What do you guys think that represents? Shout it out, put it in the group. What do you think that top of the number in the sales funnel represents? 25 leads. Yep, I'm gonna go with leads. People, humans, anyone. And those 25 leads, 25 people need to have a phone call made to them, right? So top of the sales funnel is 25 phone calls. And I'm going to tie this all together about why I call this a 10K hour, because this is something that you guys should be doing one blocked hour a day, at least 3 to 5 times a week. So from those 25 phone calls, what do you think the 5 represents? What are we hoping happens with at least 5 people?
You get a hold of them?
Yeah, we get them to answer. We get to have conversations. Yes, 5 people. Conversations. That's the goal. 1 hour, 25 people as fast as you can. From those 5 people, 2.5, what do we expect is going to happen? I know I can't, I know there's not a half a person, but roll with me. This is a statistic. From those 5 conversations, I'm going to get 2.5 what? Appointments. Yes, I see it. Appointments. Bingo. You guys already got it. So 2.5 appointments. From those 2.5 appointments, I have a statistical probability that I am going to do what with 2 of those after I meet with 2 of those people, maybe sometimes 30 times, but after that, what am I going to do with 2 of those people?
Write a contract.
Yes, I'm going to write a contract. Absolutely. Write a contract, get it accepted. 2 of those people I am going under agreement with. And then in all likelihood, because we all know that things terminate, we're going to do what with that 1 person? We're going to close it, convert it. Heck yeah. And when we close that person, what are we going to get? Money. Yes, 110%. And I don't know what your average commission is in your area, but for us, and I'm not saying what we get after Zillow, by the way, the average commission in our area is, I'm going to say between like $7,500 and like $10,000. How about for you guys? Is that about the same? What's your average commission in wherever you guys are coming from? You can throw it in the group. Yeah, close, happy. Awesome. Okay. 10K though is kind of, I'm going to say between like 5K and 10K for it. And it's going to depend, right? Based on splits and all that. We're not going to talk about any of that stuff today, but the sales funnel ideally, and why I call this the 10K hour is because if you are doing this, committing to 1 hour 2 to 3 times a week, there is no reason you should not be making that 10K paycheck, whether it's 1 closing or 2 closings. The more you multiply this, the more these numbers grow, right? So now we made 50 calls. Now we made 75 calls. Now we've talked to 10 people, 15 people. We've met with 5, 10, 15 clients for the month. We're putting 4, 5, 6 of these under contract. And now we're closing like 3, 4, 5 deals. Do you guys see how that number quickly like multiplies and the system becomes your 10K hour? Does that make sense to you? 10K hour? Okay. How I turn this into bingo with our team is after I explain this, I tell them to get out a pen and paper, think of 25 people that you need to call, and they can use their CRM. If they're brand new, I tell them to pull out their sphere and start calling their people. I give them a bingo sheet, and however quickly the first person gets to bingo, which is really funny because on the board it says, I'm already working with a realtor. I don't want to buy a house. Who is this? Why are you calling me? Expletive, expletive, expletive. It's a good time, but it shows them the power of when they are disciplined and they decide that they are going to do this every day and make these calls, they are going to create the movement that gets them the momentum to keep closing these deals consistently. And it is a lot of fun. It's an hour where a lot of people realize it's not that freaking scary to answer the phone, to get on the phone. It's not that scary to call Aunt Susie and Uncle Joe and my college roommate who have no idea that I'm doing real estate and just talking to them like humans. So really fun, energizing hour. I know I'm just about at time here. This is probably one of my favorite back to basics to teach. Takes the guesswork out of what you do. If you guys take away anything from today, I hope you remember that discipline removes decision and movement creates momentum. You do those things consistently, you are going to build the energy that is going to continue growing your businesses the way that you guys want. So thank you so much for being here. Does anybody have any questions for me? Who here is going to block their calendar for an hour this week to do what they have to do to grow their business? I like it. See some hearts, some thumbs up, some hands up. I love it. Smiling faces all makes me happy. I love it. Me. I got it. I love the bingo. I'll make sure I get you guys this whole system.
Yeah, I think bingo sounds fun. I think our team would enjoy that. It's
such a blast, I'll tell you. And I get like $5 like Starbucks gift cards, candy, whatever, as we're like doing the event. And it's just, it doesn't wind up being at all about the prizes, but it breaks barriers with people that tell themselves every day, I don't have the hour, I can't do it, I don't want to get rejected. It's fun. It's really been a lot of fun. So awesome.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
you. Thank you so much.
You're great.
Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate that. If you guys need anything, you know where to find me, Allison. We'll have my contact information out there. I'd love to talk to any of you.
I got in late. Where are you from?
Oh, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Very, very cold Pennsylvania. How about yourself?
We're at Beaufort, South Carolina.
Okay. You're all mostly part of that area. Okay, cool. I meant to ask everybody.